This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details. Fan.
We're just trying to get another home game, trying to play in front of our home crowd again, and go out there on Wednesday and play like you're going home. Everybody's counted us out all year. Like you said, we've been through a lot. We're together as a locker room. We don't care what the media's going to say. We don't care what TV's going to say. Like I said, we're focused on one game at a time and just give ourselves a chance.
Dante DiVincenzo, who, along with Nikhil Alexander-Walker, combined for, I believe, 44 points in the Game 4 loss at Target Center. Hopefully they can get close to that this evening. And welcome back to 9 to noon. It's 11:12. The talkback machine is it's quite bountiful right now. It's bustling. We have talkbacks to play here via the free iHeartRadio app, and some we set up atop the show. I threw out a couple. Norder threw out one, and we like them all. If the Timberwolves happen to be ousted tonight, if they are eliminated from postseason contention this evening, do you view this season as a success? And is it important to you, the fan, to be able to personally define the conclusion of a sports season as a success or a failure? Some just move on. Some just move on to the next sport. Some just eliminate sports as a distraction for X amount of months, and then they pick it up with fantasy football or their favorite football team or things like that. It's different for each individual, but I disagree with what DiVincenzo said, but I understand what he's saying when he's like, people have counted us out all season. The ones who follow it and just don't spitball have basically wanted you to not be in the play-in. I don't know really anybody, at least in my covenant, who even after the Karl Anthony Towns trade for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, who thought the Timberwolves would not make the playoffs. We're loud, like, all right, well, I mean, they still got this, and this, and, unless they hadn't seen Julius play. And Julius missed a month and maybe small change nearing the middle of the season. So it's where I disagree, and I shouldn't even go down this road because players say this stuff so frequently, and it's so ridiculous in its context so many times, not necessarily here, but it was get out of the play-in, stop losing to the Wizards at home, stop blowing 24-point leads in Milwaukee, stop losing by a point to Utah, whether Anthony plays or not. Hey, Anthony, stop getting technical 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Stop losing to the Portland Trailblazers when they're down some of their better players. And stop losing to the Indiana Pacers when they play an entire second half with not one starter on their team playing a minute.
Yeah.
Because of injuries.
Well, it's chip on shoulder type stuff, right?
Yeah. Well,
Dante?
But the chip on the shoulder, they all look for it. I mean, these guys are so dialed in to what's happening in that fishbowl, and you got to be that way, that sometimes they will inflate or conflate what they are hearing, thinking it's bigger or more egregious than it is.
Yeah.
Where it's not.
I remember when we did the first show, following, kind of analyzing late summer, we get the trade, you get some training camp bits and all that, and we're starting, we get to, there's Julius out there. How cool was that show that Aaron Freeman and everybody set up for us? We loved it.
Fantastic.
On paper, the only time people had felt like maybe started counting out the Wolves, if that's, even a thing, I never saw them as a non-playoff team myself. But it was only when what was on paper, the 280-some triples from Dante for the Knicks last year, analyzing what a healthy Julius Randle would do. The only time that there were questions about that was when it wasn't coming to fruition, specifically with Dante early in the season, kind of finding his legs and finding his shot. That was a process in the build-up. Julius was a process in the build-up, not like the Rudy baptism process and build-up, but still there was a period of time where Finch had to make that work, and then it did. and then it was really freaking good. And weird games along the way. You mentioned the 24-point bid at Milwaukee. That stuff just that can't happen. But all the same, counting this team out to what regard? I mean, it was pretty early and evident that some hurdles needed to be jumped to get them up into the top 4 conversation from a seeding standpoint. But in the end, they were 1 win away. Wasn't that it separated? Like 1 win separated us potentially hosting the Lakers, us being a 3 and 4 seed. It was massively muddy in the West this year, but here we are. I haven't counted them out. I think they can win tonight, PA. I wholeheartedly agree with Dane where this team, the team that loses the 24-point comeback type of bid in Milwaukee, is the team that comes back from 24 down against OKC earlier in the season as well. So yeah. I think backs against the wall, this team, if even just for a night, can find their way to the winner's circle. And
I mentioned this earlier, but it's very important to me what happens tonight. And when I say very important, I want the Wolves to win, and I hope that there is a Friday game. This has been a fun talker the entire season, and this is probably the second, in all my time living here, having moved here full-time in 98, it's the second best Wolves team that I've ever seen, and it has a chance to be the best. 02-03, KG and Spree and Sam Cassell, Wally World and things like that. That one's going to be tough to beat, specifically with the best player in the history of the Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett, leading the way. But this one's close, and I really hope they win tonight. But what's important to me is not leaving the dance doing the moonwalk. All right. You can moonwalk your way out, but don't get killed with no fight back, no punch back. Not saying I'm not predicting that's going to happen. It has not necessarily been in the DNA of the team this year when they really have that cliched backs against the wall, which Wolves back now is Wolves back against the wall. And I just want to see how they play tonight. I want to see the level of engagement. The level of crispness really matters to me this evening because there are a lot of people who have packed Target Center for a lot of games. And a lot of people genuinely care about this. And we would be 2 of them when it comes to life distractions and sports teams and things like that. So you just have others, those you serve, those you purportedly, allegedly entertain, have them in mind, because friends, family members, and those who count on you will be expecting a high-level performance this evening. The game I attended 2 days ago, and they lose 128-126. There were some ridiculous, wretched things in that game, like the turnovers and the offensive rebounding. At one point was abysmal. That they just Rudy could not hold on to the ball, which has become a common thread problem this postseason. Just grabbing the ball. We're not talking about Rudy streaking down the key, taking a bounce pass. It's apparent that's been eliminated because he can't do it. It's a nice play, and he's tough to stop. If he can catch it on the bounce and then take 2 steps, go up, dunk, or lay it up, he can't do it. So he can't. That's it. End of story. He can't do it. Don't throw it there anymore. They're not throwing it there anymore. But when it comes to being the tallest, biggest, maybe strongest guy by the rim, I want Rudy to tear that thing up tonight. I want Rudy to have one of those immortality type games because they're all right there in front of him. Because he's the longest guy on the court, and he's really good at getting positioning for rebounding. But it's reliant on catching the ball. And sometimes it takes awkward bounces. It's like a knuckleball coming off the rim. So catch 2 of every 5, man, 3 of every 5 instead of 1 of every 5. and then go back up and get fouled or dunk or lay it up. It's the defensive attention Anthony Edwards is getting is palpable. And Anthony, like Dane Moore said an hour and change ago, he's not a great mid-range shooter. He hates mid-range shots. Okay, I didn't realize the metrics and the percentages were as bad as they were, but they are. That's not who he is. He's a transition 3-point shooting guy with excellent ball handling skills for a big man, wants to beat you off the dribble, dunk on you and get to the line, or hit a transition three. The Thunder have taken away the transition three. That's not happening. They're too good. When you're plus not 95 in the turnover differential, which is an absolutely, it has to be historical. It's an absurd number. I think they've played 15 playoff games. They're plus 95. Think about that. That's unbelievable.
I don't want to think about it.
So those are the people with whom you're dealing. Well, so how do you deal with it? You deal with it by taking what they give you and making the most of it. You know, in the game, the Timberwolves won this series. Just think about that. In the game.
Singular.
Yeah, the Timberwolves won. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, they for sure can win tonight. They're better than we've seen, but they didn't play that bad a couple of nights ago. Their defense was terrible. In the second half, it was, I'd give it a B plus. But that's, again, another facet of the Oklahoma City Thunder and Dagnall, their coach, that makes them high-end and brilliant, and it's under the radar. They walk when they have a lead of 6 points, 8 points or more, second half, specifically fourth quarter. It's not racehorse basketball. They walk it up. They milk the shot clock. They run their offense with 12, 11, 10 to go on the shot clock, and the shot usually leaves the hands with 4, 5, or 6. So they're eating 16, 17, 18, 19 seconds every single possession.
Yeah.
And they're deliberate with it. Okay, well, then don't trail or have it be closer. Secondly, the crispness with the passes on Saturday night is as good as I've seen from a Timberwolves basketball team since 02-03. They passed the ball around the key, and they got in and out of potential situations so quickly, and the alacrity with which they were passing the ball did not permit Oklahoma City to get set. So therefore, if you're swift with the passing and your quick twitch is that of fluidity, they can't get set. They can't force Ant out to half court to get the ball. There's more chaos, but it's controlled chaos because you're the one orchestrating it. Last game, it's pass, hold it, look up at the shot clock, take a dribble, pick it up, pass, feed Rudy, comes back out. Now we got 7 seconds on the shot clock and you never run offense. So the what happened Saturday was a model for how to move the ball against this team. What happened? They got blown out. And finally, that's another facet of this series that's key, is how do you handle a blowout? So, for instance, Oklahoma City got blown out in Game 3. I mean, just absolutely got whooped. Timberwolves shot 57%, man. Then they're giving up 67 points in the first half of game number 4 while shooting 59%. So how do you handle yourselves when you get whooped? Well, Oklahoma City, if you listen back to their coach, the players, I mean, it was a steely, this never should happen to us.
Yeah.
Never, ever, 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 ever. I think I put it on Twitter, but I said it yesterday. They woke up Monday morning, those starters, with a collective mindset of that Saturday was Saturday. There's nothing we can do about it now. We know who we are. We know who they are. And they ain't going to beat us tonight. So their starters came out and outscored our starters 51-27 in the first half. That almost was your dagger right there. Because, again, it's reserves, bench players generally play better at home than they do on the road. So Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dante DiVincenzo going like 10 of 16 from 3, shooting like 65-70% from the field and combining for 44 points. I really hope that happens tonight. I think it's a massive underdog that it will, simply because the crowd's against you. And the referees, the whistles will be different this evening. And reserves and bench players just generally play better at home. But Oklahoma City came out of that blowout loss, and they were all steely business Memorial Day night. Now, consider the Timberwolves. I got so pissed off at the Wolves in Game 2. You could see the shell shock on their faces. Okay, and that's okay because, when you get hit by a metaphorical 2x4, it's going to hurt and you're going to be shell-shocked. But what bugged me about them in game 2 is I was thinking to myself, man, I might even put it on the social media machine, but I was like, hey, can you stop being in awe of these guys? I mean, honestly, if you want selfies and autographs with Shea,
I always love that one.
he'll do it at the end of the game. If you want a selfie with Chet or Isaiah or Jalen or Lou or Alex or Kaysen, we can even pull Aaron Wiggins over here, man. If you guys want selfies and if you want autographs and you want to do jersey swaps, we can arrange that. Stop being in awe of them, man. Okay? Stop being in awe of what they have that you don't. So all of that for me plays into some important facets that I'm going to be watching for tonight, because you don't want to have a season that goes this far and so many count on you from a distraction standpoint, and then you just get blown off the court. 7:30, 7:45 on KFAN tonight. Talkbacks for the next 2 segments with a Sioux Cup manufacturing winner to be announced. And finally, Nordo set up a talkback too. Way back in the beginning of the show, I liked it. What was it?
Yeah, just who do you trust tonight? I mean, that's ultimately, if we're going to go down that road,
Yes.
where
Which player?
It's important to you, and I think it's important to everybody. I totally agree in terms of how this team either triumphs and gets to Friday or ultimately falters and their season ends. How that occurs matters. So where does that come down to? Ant, game 2, you're mentioning that quietly. Pretty damn good night, 32 points, right? 1 of 9 from deep, needed that to be better.
Yep.
You think in a game like this, you're going to trust your best player. I trust a guy like Jaden McDaniels, who's been super consistent and in some ways your second best player in this series. I trust a Mike Conley potentially in a spot like this. He's only shooting 23%, but when he's been on the court, things have been smooth, things have been stable. Who do you trust off the bench? I don't trust Julius Randle right now at all. Now through 4 games, I'm not seeing the change. And so he's either going to hit early buckets, and that's a great outlook, or he's going to struggle early. And we found him in game 2 not playing a minute of the fourth quarter. That's how bad things got in OKC the first time around. So all the Howl fans, simply enough, who do you trust tonight in a game that your team needs to win to continue on in the playoffs?
Hey.
This is Paco from Marshall, and to me, the success of the Timberwolves relies on Finchie and his coaching staff, the talent of this team, and our superstar, Anthony Edwards, and his partner in crime, Julius Randle, coming and playing lights out. Let's win one more game at a time. One game at a time.
We'll take it. Thank you very much for the how.
Indeed. Talkbacks courtesy of Sioux Cup Manufacturing. One of you next segment will hear your name, and you'll be the winner of a prize pack courtesy of Sioux Cup that includes a Carhartt cooler, Brewmate canteen, portable JBL speaker, coffee tumbler, a hoodie, and a Sioux Cup baseball cap. To the Talkback machine we go.
Hey guys, Craig from Richfield. I think that you gotta view the season as a success. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and there's a lot of hope for the future. With that being said, I think you gotta put your trust in Anthony Edwards and hope that he goes out there and is just the guy. He's got to go out there and just be the guy, and I think you're gonna see that out of him tonight. Go Wolves!
Craig, I like the talkback. Is this off the talkback? Is this the last game we see Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, and or Julius Randle wearing the colors? Reid has a player option for $15 million, and ain't no chance he takes that. It's down right next to zero. Julius Randle, the same. He has a player option for like $30 million. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker, off a $4 million piece, is he's a straight free agent. So is this the last game that those guys will be playing for the Timberwolves? Keep that in mind. And I wonder if Julius Randle liked it here. I wonder if, because when the trade went down, his wife, and I believe they have 2 kids, They were dead set in New York, man. I mean, it wasn't, it was eye opening and I think a bit shocking for their family and for Julius that they got traded. Then it's going to be the cliched, all right, we're going to the cornfields and, restaurants don't stay open as long, not as many things to do. Good luck finding a mountain, things like that. But take it from somebody who not only I've lived in nothing but big cities all of my life until I moved here in 98. And I would take this 10 out of 10 times over, granted, I don't live in New York City, but Washington, D.C., San Francisco, just outside of Los Angeles. If
Are you on the billboard in Pocatello?
If you settle in and if you are accepting of what your lot in life is, and if you recognize that it's not an affront that somebody traded you, it's that you can't out of one side of your mouth say, it's well, that's just how it goes. It's a business. Then when the business part of the equation happens to impact you, that you're sad about it. It's okay to be sad about it, but don't carry it. I just wonder how much Julius and his family have settled in here and really like it here or loathe it here, because I hope Julius is on the team next year. I mean, it's that first year with Randall, with Edwards, was dramatically better than Gobert's first year with Cat, Edwards, and that group.
Yeah.
So I think there are some good things off which to build, but he has a player option. $30 million is a lot. Yeah, I understand that. And I think he's maxed out during his career, making maybe 33 or 31 or something is like his top yearly pay. But it's they generally think they're better than they are, and they always think they can make more than they do. So I think that'll be the mental approach into the offseason. But this, that's another reason that it's intriguing to me this evening, how they play, what Edwards' focus is, and how he gets loose but makes others better, because all the attention, like Justin Jefferson's going to go the way of Anthony, and how they just handle the evening with aplomb.
Yeah.
Win or lose, handle it with poise. Because, as we've kind of laid out over a week and change, get used to it, man. Okay, the days of being concerned about Devin Booker broken down Bradley Beal or Kevin Durant, who has zero interest in contact and or rebounding anymore, well, those are in the rearview mirror. Steph doesn't have many more left in him. Who knows where Jimmy's going to be? Draymond can still play, but I ain't tripping on that team with Nordo's guy Bojevsky. Then you get the Lakers with LeBron. Yeah, he's still good, but as we saw with that 4.5-inch vertical in the fourth quarters of games, old people get tired. And hefty people get tired, the ones who don't care about being in shape to play a professionally athletic game. That'd be Luka. Then we're not going to go through every team and the complexion of the Western Conference, but like the LA Clippers, Kawhi Leonard might have 2 or 3 years left. James Harden is immortality. He can play forever, and he's still playing at an incredibly high level, but that has an expiration date. This OKC team, man, their leader just turned 26. Jalen Williams, their second best player, is a stone cold stud. He's 24. Chet Holmgren's 23. These guys ain't going anywhere. This is the target at which to shoot in the conference. Okay, now Dallas might be able to do some damage with Cooper Flagg when they take him, Kyrie or the skeletal remains thereof, Derek Lively if they can keep him healthy, and so on. But this is absolutely the target at which to shoot in the conference and the league. Jalen Williams, he's making $4.7 million a year, which amazingly is less than teammates Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, Kenrick Williams, and somebody called Alsman Jang, who makes $5 million. Alsman Usman Jang is on their payroll for $5 million. I'm League Freak Rays, and I've never heard of him. OKC has a team option on Jalen Williams' deal for $6 million next year. Think they'll pick that up? So when they got him out of Santa Clara, they even have to be a little surprised at how good he's become. But he ain't making that much money. So their window is right now. They'll find a way to pay all of the right ones, Holmgren, Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams, and this is the target at which to shoot now and really for the coming half decade. Talkbacks.
Yeah, I need 8 or 9 assists out of Randall tonight. That's what I would like to see from him. If there's any sort of material change to his game, I'd love to see some dimes from Julius Randle. To the talkbacks.
Hey guys, Max from Egan again. I think at the end of the season, it's been a success, I guess, but I don't think it's an improvement from last season. I think we're going to be in a worse spot going into the off season. We need a new big man. Nas might be leaving, and yeah, we might be in a rough, sticky situation. But for tonight's game, I put my trust in Ant. He needs to be the superstar he is. And also, coming off the bench, I think Nikhil plays well because he's playing against his cousin. He has that little chip on his shoulder to be great.
Oh, that's an awesome talkback, and I completely agree with you. The complexion will change because Terrence Shannon Jr. is the new somebody. I mean, you don't have to play like Nikhil Alexander-Walker for me to be like, hey, is he the next Nah? No, it's just rotation spot off the bench, man. Is he the new Naz Reid? Maybe. Jalen Clark, who's he the new what? Free agency. How much money do they have? Do Laurie and Rodriguez, how far do they want to go into the luxury tax to win? Because the belief is with them and this group of minority owners they have is they will spend and spend and spend until you can't spend anymore. How much of a profitable situation is being an owner of an NBA team when you go soaring into the luxury tax? It's not like the NFL. All of that's in front of us. I'm with Nordo here. Julius the passer, Julius playing bully ball and backing somebody down, or Julius the passer. Those are my favorite versions of Julius. That's why after game 1, when he hit 5 threes, I was like, no, that's not good. Okay, this is not cool that he hit 5 threes. We're playing into the hands of the Thunder. How about some first quarter fun tonight? How about a little 10-point lead in the first quarter so the Thunder know they're in a fight? Anybody on the talkback have any idea how best ways to free Anthony Edwards? Because they keep forcing him near half court, and that line, when he finally gets the ball. I don't know, man, spread the floor so Julius gets the key and has some bully ball unfurling. How about some hard fouls? How about some hard fouls tonight, boys? Go down swinging. No more Chet flying down the key with the greatest of ease and dunking on our entire fan base. Fast passes, I said that earlier. Fast passes, please. Fast passes, please. Saturday night, they were whipping the ball around the key, and it was crisp and fluid and kept OKC off balance. And finally, don't count on the refs to make the right calls. Just don't. It's amazing that they study replays of these games and see the flailing and flopping and missed calls and still are afraid to swallow whistles. Officiating is a hard job for sure, but at least attempt to improve at your jobs, man. Seriously, at least attempt to try to get better. So many bad whistles in the Knicks-Pacers game last night made me turn it off. I just couldn't take it. The officiating's never been worse. I don't exactly know what the hiring process is compared to the NFL. I wonder if, like the NFL, if you got people who are just jumping levels, just put him on the side of his new umpire. He sucks, and he never should have gotten the job. And that's the situation that's transpiring in the NBA. We'll be right back.
KFAN.
I can't wait until tomorrow.
Here they come. Time to give away a prize. Thank you, Sue Cup Manufacturing.
Indeed, Sue Cup Manufacturing bringing you the talkback of the day. What up, Eric?
Hey, boys. Eric from just south of Mankato here on the farm. We're not in the field, but we're in the barn. You can hear my coworkers in the background. If the Wolves lose tonight, it is still a successful season. Back-to-back Western Conference Finals. If you remember, the Pistons beat up on Jordan the Bulls back in the day. Sometimes you just got to take your lumps. I trust Ant, I trust Finch, and I trust Conley to get us in the right spot. Wolves tonight. Howl.
Eward down Mankato way taking down the prize with his co-workers. 3-2. Co-workers in the background. That was sweet.
Yeah, it was. Thanks to Eric for listening and all of the talkbacks. Sue Cup Manufacturing. He's going to get a prize pack, Carhartt cooler, Brewmate canteen, portable JBL speaker, coffee tumbler, a hoodie, and a Sue Cup baseball cap. PA, I've seen that. I'm not saying that. I mean, it's an opinion by Eric, but I have seen it multiple places. Not that it's invalid. The idea that we were going down this road yesterday. The playmaking of Anthony Edwards versus the I'm just going to make every bucket. I'm going to will myself through these double teams, and in certain spots, I'm just going to win because I'm better. Is there an aspect of it like what Eric was talking about, and I've seen it others? He is just 23. That even if we are going to compare him to the highest of high echelons, that Jordan and the Bulls did struggle against those Pistons in the physical game in the late 80s, early 90s before things kind of took off. That we do have to remind ourselves he is only 23, and therefore this is a person that is still very much ascending to a level, hopefully, that finds us on the right side of some of these games in the future.
Partially, yes. It's unfair to compare Oklahoma City to Lakers teams, Celtics teams, Pistons teams, that teams were trying to work through.
Yeah.
OKC ain't done bleep. Have not done anything. Okay? This shiny toy is the glitz and the glamour of the NBA and probably will win the NBA championship, but hasn't done a thing to this stage.
No, it's true.
And with Anthony Edwards, sure, he's 23. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't even a year older than him, and he's better. And he's a better overall player. But you know what makes Shai Gilgeous-Alexander better than Anthony Edwards? He has the respect of the referees. And that's the end of the story. If the refs don't respect you, you never will ascend to a level where potentially you belong. Thank you for listening. Listen to the game tonight, 7:30 with Horton and Peterson. Nordo produces, and I'm Paul Howlin. Thank you for listening to KFAN. Talk tomorrow. Bye.
This is a great setup, Bob.
Time for two more.
The game is over.
Good stuff.
Scratching and surviving.
9 to noon.
Now, what did I do wrong? We lucky we got 'em. Good time.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.